Us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun advice. It's all waiting for you over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for joining us here. We're here to answer your Royal Caribbean cruise question, starting with the most important question. How many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Check your countdown in chat. Let's count down together. And it occurs to me now, I don't know what my countdown is at myself. I'm going to look it up. My next cruise is on Anthem of the Seas, going out of Southampton. I'm very excited for that. My first European cruise ever. But welcome, everybody. Glad to have you all here. Happy Monday. My next cruise is in 20 days, less than 3 weeks. That means 3 weeks from today, I'll be doing a live in Europe. I don't know how that's going to work timing-wise. My head hurts just thinking about it. But welcome, everybody. Glad to have you all here. And, of course, we're here to answer your cruise questions. We had a number of amazingly generous super chats even before the broadcast began, so I'm going to get to as many of those. I'm going to get to all of them. To start off, starting with Edvira. Ed, thanks for the super chat. 46 days till ovation. Our adult daughter will be coming with us in her own cabin. Can she piggyback on our internet package as a third device on our plan, or does she need to buy her own one-device plan? No, you can share internet device. You can share internet devices. You may not share drink packages, so totally fine to share your internet access with your daughter. Lauren G, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for the great videos tips. 8 of us in 4 cabins. Can I reserve early check-in time on my phone for all and then let others fill in ID info on their own? Yes. If you link your reservations together, Lauren, you'll be able to see their check-in information and get them a time. But you're going to have to first, you're going to need the reservation number and their last name, and you should be able to, like, even before check-in opens, link your reservations together. So give that a try now. Not now, but before check-in, because to get all ready to go. Susan Grabby, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you. Mary Strawn, thank you for the super chat. Cruising in 149 days. Does my husband need to download the app for the muster drill, or can he be included with my app? Yes, you can do it. You can do it for him. So you just need one person to go run through the app, the muster drill process on the app, per cabin. So at the end, Mary, you'll see an option to check you and your husband off, and you're good to go. Andrew, thank you for the super chat. Today's till Liberty of the Seas. What happens at the top tier events? Essentially, it's a celebration of Royal Caribbean's top tier cruisers. There's usually, well, first of all, there's free alcoholic beverages provided. There's usually a speech given by the ship's captain, could be given by the hotel director, loyalty ambassador, and they usually recognize some of the top cruisers, the people with the most points on your particular sailing. It's kind of interesting and cool. I have a super chat coming in here, and I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize, but thank you for your generosity. Very, very kind of you. I think we're caught up on the ones before the broadcast. Thank you guys so much. Let's see here. MMJ says, how can teens use the app without seeing every cruise you have planned? If they're above the age of 13, I believe, they can get their own login for Royal Caribbean. So you don't need to they don't need to use your account. Thank you very much. Appreciate the very, very kind words. Thank you for being here. Garrett wants to know, hey, question, how do you get copies of the cruise planner for the Royal Caribbean blog? People email it to us. So a common misconception is that I have access to the cruise planners beyond what anyone else has. No, people email them, Garrett. So that's why it's and since the advent of digital cruise compass, it's actually easier because you just have to download a PDF, no more scanning. General Havoc. General, thank you for the super chat. Just got off Rhapsody of the Seas last week. Next 3 cruises booked already. Sad to say that they did not offer lobster during any dinner, so they were discontinuing that option. I'm not sure the second part is that's not true. I think that's incorrect, but you know, crew members, bless their hearts, sometimes they're misinformed. Anyway, does Azumi offer soy paper as an option? I don't know. I did not think to ask. I've not asked General Havoc, and I've not personally seen it, so I am not sure. Maybe someone in our chat knows that, but thank you for your generosity. Of course, I just wish I could be more helpful, but yeah, I'm not afraid to say I don't know. In this case, I don't know. Obniel wants to know, can you bring water in Royal Caribbean? Yes, you can take up to 12 bottles, cans, whatever, of bottled water on embarkation day per cabin. Amy wants to know, can you bring food on board? Yes, any prepackaged food. There is no limit on the food you can bring on board. If you want to bring snacks, like I could bring, like for our kids, we bring like Pringles and Goldfish to have in the cabin so they can nosh on it. Yeah, that's totally fine. And Whipple, thank you for the super chat. And 536 days till Brilliance back to back. How does that work? Do you get off the ship or do they leave you on or what? And think of the super chat. So towards the end of cruise number one, you'll get a letter in your cabin, but essentially this is how it'll work. On that last day of the cruise, last morning of the cruise, everyone else gets off the ship. You'll be told to report to a certain location. Usually it's the main dining room, maybe sometimes a lounge, and you and the rest of the back-to-backers will wait there until all the other guests are off the ship. At that point, Royal Caribbean escorts you off the ship and then back on. So you're the last one's off, first one's back on board. And that's the really 30-second basic version of it. Oh no, Nick, I thank you. I appreciate that. No, I knew there was a time difference, but I hadn't actually, as I said it, Nick, that broadcast 3 weeks from now that we're gonna be doing, I'll be in Europe, and I don't know if I'll try to adhere. I'm not adhering to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's like, yeah, like 1 o'clock in the morning. But we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out for sure. Are there any cruise ships I've not been on? Oh yes, many. Spectrum, Voyager, Radiance, Grandeur, Enchantment, just to name a few. So still got some more belt buckle notches to notch in my belt, whatever that metaphor is that I just butchered. I see lots of our friends from MEI Traveler here, including Jen Green and Fox is here. I'm sure I missed some others, so I apologize, but glad to see all our friends joining us in here. Welcome. Jason and Achilles, thank you, Jason, for the super chat. Just got off Liberty this season, thought it was odd that I didn't have any cookies in my room. Cruise is still great, just thought it was odd. I believe that's a change that Royal Caribbean has made with the Crown and Anchor Society. They're no longer delivering to the room. I believe that's a change that occurred earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, Jason. Thank you for your generosity, my friend. Appreciate you. Bo wants to know, what's the first thing you would do in onboard Oasis of the Seas? I'll give you 2 because it depends. If you have a dining package, I would go make dining reservations. And then, or instead of, if you don't have a dining package, I go to the Windjammer to eat lunch. Marina says, my boyfriend wants the drink package, but I don't drink a lot. Is there anything I can do to opt out of the limited drink package? Yeah. Call Royal Caribbean. Tell them what you want to do. They will let you, Marina, get the non-alcoholic drink package. You need to call for that. Jessica Devoto. Jessica, thank you for the super chat. Pro tip, if your cruise finishes in Miami, get the airport transfers from the cruise line. Don't count on getting an Uber. It takes hours. There's no seating at the terminal. Really, I'm surprised to hear that. I've had very good luck using Lyft or Uber. Maybe it's an Uber problem, but that is surprising, Jessica, that you ran into such an issue there. I'm sorry to hear that. But thank you for the tip there. Lance, thank you for the super chat. Is there a secret to getting in touch with Royal Caribbean Dining? I've emailed twice for help, but no response. If you need help, email is not the way to go. I'm actually wrote an article about this last week about getting customer service. My advice to you, Lance, instead, now if you want to, let me be clear about this for a second. If you're emailing Royal Caribbean Dining because you want to just have I want to request a table or something like that, usually don't get a response. That's fine. It's understood almost that it's like that. If you have a question or a query or something needs to be changed, my advice is not to go through that email. Don't go through any email at all. Use Royal Caribbean social media, Lance. Probably the next best thing. Twitter or Facebook is my recommendation. Sizzlin Bacon wants to know, is the Skypad still on Independence? The physical structure is there, but the activity is gone. As an example, on Mariner of the Seas, they were doing things like aerobics, beanbag toss, and other free activities in there. So the actual structure is there, but everything else is gone. Dana, thank you for the super chat. What time of day do they open the mobile check-in? Midnight where the ship is located, if that makes sense. So as an example, Dana, we'll make this easy. Maybe it's easy. I'm not sure. If we're talking about Mariner of the Seas, Mariner right now is somewhere in the East Coast, so right around somewhere in the Caribbean. That'd be midnight Eastern time. So yeah. Susan Westfall, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate you. Is your Norway cruise on the 14th? It is. If so, hope to see you then. And I'm looking forward to seeing you as well. That's awesome. Now I actually know someone on board the ship, Susan. Awesome. And thank you for your generosity. Appreciate you. Vinny, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you, Vinny, but I will keep an eye out for it. Tukes, it's so good to see you. It's been a little while. Thank you for the super chat. Any hidden secret cabins on Odyssey non-suites? No, I don't think so. I mean, not that I can think off the top of my head. So, no. Yeah, no. Not that I'm aware of. Let's put it that way. I'll leave it at that. Oh, here's Vinny's question. Vinny wants to know what's a good amount of outfits pack for a 7-night cruise. I would always plan on 2 outfits per day, one for the daytime, like, your shorts and whatever, and then something for dinner, right? That's usually my go-to recommendation for a cruise. That isn't to say, Vinny, you need to pack 7 pairs of shorts, 7 pairs of shirts, 7 jackets. You don't need to go. You can reuse clothing, but certainly what you wear in the daytime is not necessarily what you'll wear in the evening, especially if you're going to the main dining room or specialty dining. If you're going to the Windjammer or other casual eateries, you don't necessarily need to change for dinner. So something else to keep in mind there. Let's see here. Recharging with Disney says they do offer soy paper. Thank you. I did not know that. So there you go. There's the answer there for the question about Izumi. Jorge wants to know, can you bring pets on board? You cannot. The only animals allowed are service animals, as in like certified service animals, not what's the emotional support animals. So it's got to be a service animal. Betty Eakin, thank you for the super chat, Betty. What's with the overbooking going on with Royal Caribbean lately? Also, I've heard recently that they're shortening the times of Skagway for this year. Have you heard anything? I've not heard anything definitive about Skagway. I know Skagway was dealing with the issue late last year with that rock tumbling issue with the pier there. I am not familiar, although, I mean, not that I get the emails or updates from Royal Caribbean about particular schedules related to that, but I don't have any updates on that. As for the overbooking going on the Royal Caribbean, a lot of it's blown out of proportion, in my opinion, in the internet. It's a lot of people sharing on social media. These things have happened in the past. Are they happening with more frequency lately? I mean, sure, if you want to argue that point, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I wouldn't characterize it as anything just as one-offs. I mean, I was on, as an example, Betty, I was on Wonder of the Seas in March, as I think you know. And I think the sailing before us, or the sailing before us might have been affected by this, but it has no bearing on other than the people that are actually on that cruise. So, I don't know. I personally, let me just put it this way. My personal outlook on it is I don't even think twice about it, quite frankly. It's one of those, I'll cross that bridge when I need to kind of situations. That's just my outlook. That's how I kind of approach these things. But I certainly don't know that it's problematic at this point. Just something that's people pick up on the internet and make a big deal out of it. Let's see here. Next question is from Colleen, who wants to know, what is your favorite thing to do on Oasis of the Seas? Ooh, besides eating, because eating is pretty much what I love about Oasis of the Seas. Certainly Aqua 80s, the show in the Aqua Theater, I think is the best Aqua Theater show in the fleet right now. My Wishing Flower says, can you only see your set sail pass on your app and not the other people in your cabin? I tried to look at my dad's set sail pass on my app, but only showed mine. No, you should be able to see them all. As an example, My Wishing Flower, when I go into the app, I have an iPhone, and I add the set sail pass to my wallet, I can add not only mine, but my wife's and my kids. That's what I do all the time. I'm wondering, though, maybe it's because I'm the lead on the reservation. Maybe that has something to do with it. It's the only thing I can think of. But Dave, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you. And Elvira, thank you for the super chat again. Do we just email screenshots of the cruise compass? No, you actually don't have to do that, Ed. For the cruise compasses, you can actually download them when you maybe you already know this, but like the easiest way to do this, you get the digital one every day of your cruise. Just save it. In Safari, there's an option to save it as a PDF, and just email me the 7 PDFs, 3 PDFs, whatever it is for the from your cruise. Sean, it is a speak and spell behind me. Yes, absolutely. Riva, thank you for the super chat. Do you need closed-toed shoes for basketball court? I'm not sure they're required unless it's like an organized activity. I think it's a really good idea. I don't think quite frankly, I think it's in your best interest to not play basketball or whatever game in flip-flops or anything like that. But I think it's more of a strong recommendation. I mean, there may be signs say, closed-toed shoes, but it's not like no one's there to stop you. Let's put it that way. Unless it's an organized activity. Like sometimes they do dodgeball and there'll be a actual crew member there. But again, I think it's really to your advantage from a support standpoint to have shoes, not flip-flops or anything like that. Alice, thank you for the super chat. I did the April 3rd sailing on Navigator 4-nighter, and there was no Royal Night. Correct. It's only on the 7-night one. That is right. So and I'm not sure if we were responding to that question earlier about the lobster or whatnot, but you're correct. You can only there's only lobster night in the main dining room on cruises that have a second formal night. So there you go. Next question is from Eyes on Mary. I'm paying for a Princess cruise for next year, and I'm trying to make it sure I start checking items off the list. Princess app won't let me check items off the list. I have to pay first. I have no idea. I only cover Royal Caribbean. I have no idea what Princess is all about. My recommendation for you is to check out our good friend Sherry from Cruise Tips TV. She's a YouTube channel here on YouTube, and she is Miss Princess, both figuratively and literally. She will be able to answer your question for you, I am sure. Someone else in the chat can't do it. Sailor Cruiser wants to know, hi Matt, is there any casino complimentary cruise? Yes. If you gamble enough, yes, there is. But you have to gamble enough in Casino Royale in order to accrue status to get one. But yes, absolutely. Let's see here. Next question is from Snack830. Thank you for the super chat. Have you ever disembarked Carnival and made it to Port Miami the same day cruise? I've never cruised Carnival. Wait. Oh boy, that was a misreading. Canaveral, not Carnival. Woo. Okay. Let's try it again. Have you ever disembarked Canaveral and made it to Port Miami for the same day cruise? Found two cruises I like, but they're different ports. That's a long drive. I just did that drive. I did the drive from Miami back home. You're talking about 3.5 hours, best case scenario. So if you got off the ship in Canaveral, you were Johnny on the spot. You got off the ship at 8 a.m. Like you're in the car, ready to go. You'll be there by like 11:30, right? Now, traffic is an X factor. If it's on a weekend, there's better chance there's not going to be an issue. So it is possible. I wouldn't recommend it in the sense. I think you'll be kind of stressed a little bit, but it is in the realms of possibilities. Let's see here. Terry wants to have ever been on a celebrity cruise or a virgin cruise? No, but I am going on my first celebrity cruise this Thanksgiving on Celebrity Apex. Very excited for it. Jeremy wants to know, we're intrigued by a suite. What is your must-book price threshold for a 7-day Royal Caribbean Alaska cruise in a junior suite? It's a really tough question. It seems like an easy question, Jeremy. But as an example, these are not my numbers. But, somebody might say $3,000. Somebody might say $7,000. Okay? I'm just using these numbers as examples because for one person, $3,000 is affordable. And for another person, $7,000 is affordable. And for somebody else, neither of those are affordable. So whatever you are comfortable with. Certainly the cheaper, you're asking like what's like a really good deal. It depends on the ship. Are we talking about Brilliance of the Seas or we're talking about Ovation of the Seas? There's a big difference between what you get for a junior suite and the ship itself on those for a junior suite on those ships. So it's not as, it seems like an easy question. And I'm not trying to dodge the question, but I also can't give you an honest answer because there's too many depends. And I'm not talking about the diapers. I'm talking about the factors. So there you go. Deputy Get Some wants to know, how would you pack for a 14-day cruise? Laundry, reusing and laundry. The ship's onboard laundry, it's not free, but it is better than packing 14 outfits. Send it out for laundry. It's a convenient option, not too expensive. I think I would definitely do that. Michael Todd, thank you for the super chat. We're on Winter of the Seas this week. Our first cruise, you and your team has made it much easier. Awesome. Enjoy and hope you have a great time on Wonder. If you see Big Dog Ron up in the mason jar, say hello for me. And he loves tequila, by the way. So if you can buy him a tequila shot, he would love you forever. Let's see here. Jimmy wants to know, can I check in everybody? Even though we have separate rooms? Yes. Just have to link your reservations together, Jimmy. Go in the app. The bottom says can't find your reservation. Add them in there, and you should be good to go. Lucho, I'm on the inaugural icon. I'm on the Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise icon of the sea sailing. If you want to know the dates on those on the group cruise, RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com/events. Josh Perry, thank you for the super chat. 9 days till adventure. I'm so excited. Single digit dance, Josh. It's real. And yeah, prepare for the longest 9 days of your life. It just seems to take forever. But it'll be worth it when you get on board. Let's see here. Keyman wants to know, is the upcharge for the chops grill steak in the main dining room a good alternative to actually going to the restaurant? In the sense that if all you want is a steak and nothing else off the menu, yeah. As an example, Keyman, my oldest daughter loves steak. Like filet mignon is her life now. Okay, and she loves it so much that like once a cruise, we'll buy her the filet at the main dining room because we don't necessarily want to go to Chops for a full meal, but it's still cheaper to do that. So from that standpoint, yeah, it's a good alternative. It's not like obviously the experience, the ambiance, the full menu, it's not available, but if you're in the mood for filet or lobster, I suppose, yeah, absolutely. The real Matt Bailey, thank you for the super chat. Some ships have bands, some ships have cards, which is better? Well, all ships have cards, and only some ships have WoW bands, which is better? Harmony has both. Oasis and Quantum class ships generally have both. Allure doesn't, but Harmony does. They're just don't look at them, Matt, as one or the other. They work in tandem with each other, conjunction with each other. I like having the WoW bands just open my cabin, nothing else. I don't have to dig in my pocket for my card or anything like that. William Ryman with an epic super chat. Woo! Thank you, William. 34 days till Wonder. This is, I have a guaranteed cabin. No assigned room yet, but I was looking at my CPAS card and was told the numbers after the dashes of my room. Is this true? Thanks for all your advice. To some extent, it cut off the thanks for all your advice. You are truly the best. All right. Thank you for the very kind words. To some extent, yes, there is some anecdotal truth. People actually will, William, they'll get a QR or a QR barcode reader applications and scan them and figure it out. There is truth to it. Now, it could change, of course. Keep that in mind. But it's at least an indication or a sign. So I wouldn't take it as gospel truth, but at least it says I'm probably getting this room. Yeah, probably the way to go right there. Zach, do I have to go to formal night? No. Formal night only applies to the main dining room, by the way. So when you're out and about elsewhere on the ship, you don't need to dress up. And if you don't want to go to the main dining room for dinner, you can go to a specialty restaurant, which has a different dress code, or go to the buffet, another complimentary venue. So yeah. Let's see here. Lots of questions, guys. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. I'm trying my best here. Terry, best thing on Adventure of the Seas is zooming in the Royal Promenade is really good. The water slide's a nice option as well. Let's see here. Brian Smith, thank you for the super chat. Headed to Alaska next May on Quantum in a virtual balcony with their 5-year-old son. Would you consider upgrading? That's a tough question, right? This goes back. This is like, remember the question I just had about, what's like the must book rate on an Alaska cruise? Same kind of idea. I mean, would you consider upgrading? The money you're going to spend to upgrade, you can make the argument that it's better spent on a really cool shore excursion, because shore excursions in Alaska are expensive if you haven't looked yet. They're very expensive, especially compared to the Caribbean. And I would argue, dollar for dollar, I'd rather spend the money on a cool excursion than a cool room. Now you might, and listen, if that's not an issue, you can afford both, then yeah, sure, why not? Having a balcony in Alaska is really nice. But I don't want you to think, Brian, that if you're in that virtual balcony, that you guys are going to suffer in a sense, or you're going to miss out on anything. It's a big ship, lots to see, lots of public space on those decks. I wouldn't worry as much. The old adage that you should always get a balcony in Alaska, in my opinion, is rooted in an older style of cruise ship that didn't have as much public deck space and not nearly as many balconies. That's changed a lot, especially with Quantum of the Seas. So again, I don't compromise on your excursion budget in favor of a better stateroom. But if you can afford both, sure. But otherwise, you still have a great time, and I'd rather spend that money on your shore excursions. Our Gravy, thank you for the super chat. Traveling with a broken ankle on Allure. Oh, that stinks. I'm sorry, dude. Any trams, pedicabs, etc. to get from the ship down the long docks in Roatan and Cozumel? Roatan is a very short pier, so no. Cozumel, I don't recall seeing one. I was just there last week. I don't recall seeing one at all. I'm not saying they don't exist. I don't remember. Like Bahamas, I've seen them. Costa Maya, I've seen them. I don't recall ever seeing them in Cozumel. You can certainly ask, but yeah, I wouldn't bet on it. Let's put it that way. Let's see here. Meet the Swains first, going on Sunday on Wonder, first cruise since COVID, and then having cancer. I'm so glad to hear you're able to go on your cruise. That is awesome. Awesome. The Teresa McShane, thank you for the super chat. 3 days till Adventure of the Seas, 53 till the Navigator group cruise, and 49 till the Secret. You're going on that one? I thought we were in cahoots here, not to give in to peer pressure with people that were mean to us. Lauren, thank you for the super chat. In Roatan, is it worth to get off the ship or better to stay on and enjoy amenities? We have 3 other ports. I mean, I like getting off the ship, Lauren. Whether I've been there once, never, or 100 times, I mean, I like it, at least for a little bit. So I would say in Roatan, number 1, you want to have a plan. It's not the kind of port where you can walk around and just find something like right off the pier. So, I mean, there's like a couple shops and things, but like I'm talking about like once you get past the port gates, right? Some ports are really good for that. Cozumel is a good example. Rotan's not a good example. You want to have a tour, but I would say it is worth getting off the ship and doing something. I understand what you're trying to do, and maybe this is your first time. You didn't say which ship you're on, and you want to enjoy that. Maybe just do a short day, Lauren. Get off the ship early in the morning, come back before everybody else does. Especially if you get back like right around lunchtime. So get off for like 2 or 3 hours. That way you get a little bit of time off the ship, a little time in a port, but you take advantage of a much less crowded pool deck and whatnot on board the ship. Let's see here. Marina wants to know, do you have to book the mason jar brunch before getting on the cruise, or can I book it on board if you have the dining package? You can book it on board once you have the dining package. Oh, so Jason, this is news to me. I guess the question is, who stopped you? Because the only time I've ever seen anyone, I believe you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying the only time I've ever seen a crew member in the sports court has been when there's an organized activity, like, all right, we're doing dodgeball now. But when they're just like doing, it's just basketball court, and there's no crew member there. But to your point, I would agree. You should have it anyways. I think whether you're shooting hoops or playing pickleball and flip flops, it's just a bad idea. So, yeah. Let's see here. Lots of questions. I'm trying to get to as many as I can here. Daniel wants to know, on a 5-night cruise, will there be a formal night? Yes, there'll be one formal night, probably on day 2 of the cruise. There's always at least one formal night on every sailing. Aaron Ross, thank you for the super chat. Just saw a walkthrough of Grandeur, and I would totally sail on it. Royal seems to keep up their old ships well, unlike other lines I've been on. Vision class is really nice. They do a great job with that. Tom Anderson. Tom, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I don't see a message from you, but thank you, my friend. Vaughn Hoffmeyer in the house. Very nice. Me likey. Welcome. It's always JetBlue. You know the answer to that one. Our Gravy. Thank you for the super chat. Our cruise is overbooked. How is it decided who gets removed from cruise first? It rarely gets that, Our Gravy. This is one misconception. When on the rare chance the cruise is oversold, and let's be clear on this, it's pretty rare, okay? But even when it is, number one, they look for volunteers first. And in all the cases that I've seen in the last, ever, but certainly in the last year, the volunteers are overwhelming because there's a lot of people who can just, they live in the area. This is like cruise number, 82 for the year for them. Like, they can make it work, right? And they take volunteers first. So it's never really ever gotten to that point, as far as I know. So that's all I know there. Ainsley, thank you for the super chat. I know how you feel, but thinking about getting the keys. Oh, man. Since we always get the internet, I want to go to Chops plus show seats. Feedback. It sounds better than it is. This is the key. No pun intended. This is the issue. I'm not telling you. You can get the internet. You can buy it. Obviously, you already know that, right? And you might get a better deal on it by waiting for a sale. Cool. Chops. You can go there on your own. You don't need the key for that one. You want an embarkation day? It may be. I don't know what ship you're going on, but in a lot of cases, it is open for it. And the premium show seats, here's the secret about it. It may not be where you want to sit. The key reserved seats in a theater are usually grouped together with a Diamond Plus and other things. Anyway, they're usually in the back or some other place. Yes, there's a seat for you. Doesn't mean where you want to sit or it's a good seat. It's not first row. So, look, you know how I feel about it, Ainsley. I'm just telling you that it sounds better than it is. Let's see here. Heather wants to know, what is your best advice to help jet lag from the US to Spain? I have no idea, and I have to deal with the same problem when I go to Norway Finland. I'm not going to I'm going to Norway, but later. Finland next month. So if anyone has any good suggestions for me or Heather, I would love to hear them. I've heard them all. You're supposed to stay up, go to sleep. I think you're just kind of my best advice, honestly, is if you can, if it's not too late, try to get to Spain a couple of days early so you could have some extra time before you get on the cruise to sleep and get your schedule back together. Let's see here. Cameron wants to know if I land at 10 a.m. for my 4 p.m. takeoff cruise, is that enough time? There's a couple things. There's a couple, probably, but number one, that 4 p.m. time, that's not that. You doesn't mean you can get on the ship at 3:59. You have a check-in time, and second of all, the all aboard is significantly earlier than that. My advice to you, Cameron, is don't do that. Come in the day before the cruise. I mean, try, like if at all humanly possible. Yeah, I know a hotel costs extra money. Trust me, you want to come in. You do not want to see the delayed option on your flight. And now you're thinking, oh God, am I going to make my cruise? Is this going to actually happen, or we're not going to make it at all? Because that happens more often than you think. Fly in the day before your cruise. Obviously, yes. If you got in at 10 a.m., like, I have no idea where are you flying into? I shouldn't even say that. Are you flying into Rome, or are we flying into Orlando? Where's your cruise going out of? There's a lot of factors there, but come in before the day of your cruise. My best advice to you. It's one of the biggest mistakes people who are new to cruising make is they fly the same day of their cruise. You're asking for trouble, my friend. You're asking for trouble. Let's see here. Vincente, thank you for the super chat. How long does it take to get out of the cruise in Galveston? Because I need to make a reservation for the shuttle to the airport, but I don't know the time. It's actually really quick. When I was there in November, I had no issues. Obviously, your mileage may vary. Here's what I would tell you, Vincente. I would make the best guess you can make, but I'd call the company, and be like, hey, listen, this is what, let's be realistic about it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm going to try to make it for this time, but, obviously have some flexibility because listen, if U.S. Customs takes longer to clear the ship, that's going to back everything up, right? These things could happen. So, Don Lee, hey, Matt, if you take the Celebrity Cruise for Thanksgiving, what are your perks that you'll have from switching lines? So, for me, as a Diamond Plus member, I'll be able to, I haven't done it yet, but I need to call Celebrity they honor your status from Crown and Anchor Society. So, you get their status in, I think it's Elite is the status that we get. Now, if you're asking me what is an Elite status, I'm gonna be honest with you, Don, I have no idea. I gotta go look it up. That's my first time. Nicole says, in your opinion, do my kids need arcade time, or do you think they'll be good enough gaming time in the kids club? I'm trying to figure out if I need to buy the arcade credit. Here's a mistake, Nicole. Not number one, but a big mistake. Don't buy the arcade credits, the prepaid ones. On board the ship, Nicole, if you want to buy your kids one game or 10 games or whatever, you just swipe your CPass card. You're saying, well, why don't I buy the arcade credits? The problem with the arcade credits is it's very difficult to ever fully utilize all your credits because there's always like an odd amount left over. It's a problem. There's no need to do it. So I would not recommend pre-purchasing. Instead, I would just, get on the ship, Nicole, and scan it in there. As to, do you think they need it? I think my kids are spoiled enough to play enough video games at home. They don't need to do it on the ship. But we do that, one or two, just on a random sea day, just to pass the time, right? But there's a lot happening on the ship beyond the arcade. So hashtag that answer. But that's how I feel about it. Zach says, docking in St. Thomas, how do you recommend getting to St. John without an excursion? And what is there to do? The issue, what is there to do is primarily going to the beach, swimming, snorkeling. How would I get there? I would arrange a tour on your own, Zach. Some tour that will pick you up near the terminal, near the cruise port, I mean. The taxi situation in St. Thomas is a real pain in the butt. It's not like taxis. They call it taxis, but they're not taxis. They're large vans, and if you're not going where they're going, they're not going to take you. So my advice is do something private. No, actually, let me take that back one step back. If you can, the easiest is to book through Royal Caribbean. If there's a tour that goes to St. John, just book that. Super easy. The next best option is to book a private tour with somebody who's going to arrange all the transportation and logistics for you. Jay Gold, thank you for the super chat. Is Blue Lagoon in Nassau a good shore excursion choice? Yeah, probably one of the best ones right now. Blue Lagoon, Pearl Island. I've been to Blue Lagoon. Really not bad at all. Oh God, Carolyn, don't do this. Carolyn, you're asking for a high pressure sales situation. I don't know anything about these people that don't do it. Trust me, you don't want to do it. Book a cruise, pay for it. You'll thank me. Don't go. There's timeshare sales. No. Let's see here. Mr. Tony Diaz. Tony, thank you for the super chat. Big shout out to Kim, who I met on the cruise and is a big fan of yours. I don't know why. Thank you, Tony, for the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you're having a great time. How is Freedom of the Seas? Fantastic. Marcel wants to know, will the cruise change for Oasis going in August? Probably not, but you never know. I mean, there's always a chance that any cruise could change, but I think it's a possibility. Is the travel agent here? Yes, there's a number of MEI travel agents in the chat. I know that Jen Green. Here's one right here. Here's Jen, right there, for you to check out. Also, Fox is in the chat, and there may be others as well. But Jen and Fox, Mark Neitster. Here's his name one more time. Is looking for you guys. Michelle, have you heard anything about the Brightline train from Orlando to Miami? It's opening in May. I just drove back from Miami today. Extremely boring, but it's opening in May. It'll go from Orlando, the airport, to West Palm Beach, I believe, and Miami. So worth it. So worth it. Smart casual tonight, indeed. Yes. Bob Wise just left cookie on the Enchantment of the Seas. Hope you had a great day there. Dare I say, a perfect day. Petty Boop wants to know, can you order multiple items at Chops Grill? Multiple appetizers, side dishes, and desserts? Yes, not entrees. And does the drink package work there? Yes, absolutely. What is the WoW band? I really should get one. The WoW band looks like this. It's an RFID bracelet. This one's white, and I picked the. It's an RFID bracelet that you wear on your wrist, and it's just like a CPass card. It costs $10. You buy them on board the ship. It gets services, and you can use them again on other cruises. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, I lost my mouse there for a second. Oh, this was the real question from Marcel. Not Marcel says, "Hey Matt, does the cruise compass change for Oasis of the Seas? My cruise is in August for 9 days, and the compass on the website is 7." Okay, so that's a better question than the one I thought you were asking. There will be some discrepancies. More often than not, Marcel, I would say a majority is going to be the same, right? I mean, there are going to be some aspects that will differ, but it will give you still a ballpark idea of what to expect. Russ, pass me the tequila Crawford. How are you, Russ? I'm so ready for my Southern Caribbean cruise in January. Russ, I really wish we're going with you. Hope you and the family are doing well, and you're giving pony rides to Talia. Garrett, I've been on Navigator of the Seas 4 times. What is your best suggestion to do on the ship during the June group cruise? Hang out. And when you're on a group cruise, you've been on the ship, you've been there, done that. Meet people on board, even Tony Diaz. It's cool to meet people, maybe make a new friend. That's the best part about it. Gene, thank you for the super chat. Been only on Oasis class, going on Voyager this weekend. Am I going to be surprised at the difference in size of amenities? And please say, up next. Surprised? You'll see differences, certainly. I think you'll, yes. I mean, just I guess surprised. But you'll certainly notice differences. You'll notice certain, the flow, certain venues being bigger or smaller. So yeah. And Marcel, I answered your question, but thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Russ is living vicariously through you this summer, buddy. That just sounds like you need to book a cruise. That sounds like Denise. She may say, Russ, you better not book a cruise. That's an exact, like 100% replica of her voice, right? Doubt, like exactly. Anyway, what she really means is, Russell, you better book that cruise. So there you go. Book it. She may yell at you in the beginning. They always thank you later once you're on board. Loretta, you made it in. Welcome. Looking at boarding another cruise at some point for a budget-oriented vacation. Are the Freedom class ships the way to go? Which one? I think yes. And also, I think if you actually, the Voyager class are even better value. But for Freedom class, any of them. Liberty is probably the best value right now. Mariner is a wonderful one. Danny DiMatteo, thank you, Danny. Appreciate you. Sorry, this is nothing to you, Danny. I'm just checking something else. Let's see here. Stephanie wants to know, how many drinks do you have to get to make the refresher package worth it? probably 4 or 5 drinks a day. It depends on the drink, right? You get 4 or 5 bottles of water, no, but 4 or 5 mocktails or cups of coffee, or lattes, really? Yes, absolutely. Rebecca wants to know, in regards to the junior suite question, I generally use this guideline depending on the budget. You get double crown anchor points in junior suite. If the money is less than the cost of 2 balconies, I see it as a way to save money. There you go. It's a good answer right there. Jose, thank you for the super chat. Jose, I don't see a message from you, but thank you, my friend. How is Mariner of the Seas? Love it. I actually wrote a call. I wrote a love letter to Mariner of the Seas last week. Great ship. Oren, thank you for the super chat as well. I don't see a message from Oren or Jose, but I will keep an eye out for you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Teresa McChain. We weren't okay. Well, glad to hear it. Thank you for the super chat again. At least our will is universal at this point. Let's see. Rochelle wants to know, what is a reasonable tip cruising from Sydney to New Zealand in March on Ovation? Don't really understand tipping culture. That's a great question, Rochelle. And I'm going to answer a couple things. Number one, and I know you're from Australia or you're from New Zealand. And I believe, I don't know how it works if you're going on a cruise out of, like, not in Australia or New Zealand, but like a North American cruise. Actually, I don't even know. No, March, you're in down under. Okay, this is going to be easier. I believe your gratuity is already part of your cruise fare. So the gratuity for the stateroom attendants and the dining room staff, which would otherwise be tipping that I would have to pay here in the U.S. That's including your cruise fare. And if you booked with a New Zealand travel agent, I'm nearly certain that's the case. You can double check with them. Okay, so that one's you're good on that one. Everything else, Rochelle, on board the ship is 18% automatic gratuity. So when you go and you order a drink or you go to the spa, gratuity is part of it. You should feel pretty confident, quite frankly, that that is sufficient. Now, some people who are staying in a suite may tip extra on that, but I know that for you guys, your tipping culture is different. I would certainly tell you this. You should not feel bad about an 18% gratuity that's already pre-built into your charges there. So the only times that it would not be covered is off the ship. You're on a shore excursion. And that, depending on where you are, I can't tell you what may or may not be there. But at least for on the Royal Caribbean, you're pretty much covered. Here's Oren. Oren, thank you again for the super chat. On Allure of the Seas, will the new casino have craps? Oh, do you mean in the where Jazz on 4 used to be? On Wonder of the Seas, they did not. They had a blackjack table, poker table, a roulette table, and a lot of slot machines. I suspect it'll be like that, if that's what you're asking. Thank you for your generosity. Let's see here. Gina from Cologne. How far in advance can you book a cruise? It depends on when you book it exactly, but somewhere in the ballpark of about up to 2 years or so. And you save a lot of money by booking either a long time in advance or rather last minute. Generally speaking, you'll get the best price when you book much earlier, as soon as you can, like 2 years in advance. There are last minute deals. I'm not here to pretend they don't exist, but there's so many caveats to that it's rarely you're better off with a lower price booking much earlier on. So, cool. Next question, Ronnie. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Just thought of something. Ronnie, best excursions in Falmouth. I think Falmouth. If you're talking about Falmouth, Jamaica, Ronnie, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't yet to find a good excursion there. If I were to go tomorrow, I would book or try to book a day pass to the Hilton Rose Hall. I did it many, many, many years ago. It was the best option I had. Let's see here. SQ Taku, I'm new to the all access ship tour. So how would they give you the access? Like, will they give you in your stateroom? Oh yeah, it's a tour. So basically, when you get on board the ship, you'll get a little letter, a little piece of paper. It says, okay, report for the all access tour at this day and this time. And then they give everything you need at that point. Let's see here. Haley says, hi, Matt. I've heard that Zone Zero on Odyssey might be shutting down. Have you heard anything about this? I've heard similar rumors that it is or will shut down, but I've not heard anything official about that, Haley. So I don't have anything to say, but I've heard the same rumors, but haven't been able to verify it one way or another. Pena wants to know if I go ahead and buy the drink package, it's cheaper later on. When I cancel it, does the money refund or can I use it to just rebook it? It refunds. But in the grand scheme of it, of your credit card statements, it's gonna be a wash, right? If you get a refund on you pay for it on day 6 of your statement and day 12, 18, it comes back as a refund. It's kind of a wash there. But yeah, when you cancel it, it goes through the processing of a refund. Dominator, thank you for the super chat. Going on Oasis this season, 70 days, going on adventure in 100. What's the difference between the two? A lot. Oasis is a significantly bigger ship. Oasis is an Oasis class, Adventure is a Voyager class. So the size of the ship, the amenities on board, dining choices, activities, in there's a lot more than that, but that's the short answer to your question. So activities, dining, things to do, size of the ship, public spaces. Let's see here. Eduardo says, shouldn't you wait until you reach pinnacle status to claim your matching status in celebrity? You would think that, but actually no, because once you hit Diamond Plus, that's the uppermost limit that they will match in celebrity. They won't get you to Zenith as an example. So it doesn't matter if I was Pinnacle or Diamond Plus, I'd get the same status. Good question. I thought the same thing. Aaron, thank you again for the super chat. 17 days till Ovation to Alaska. The ship comes in from the Australia and Hawaii. Does Royal typically change out a lot of the stuff when repositioning? No, not at all. The dog goes. Thank you for the super chat. Do you know of any soft water shower head adapters you can use on the cruise? Nope. I have never gotten this question before. I have no idea. I don't think so. I don't even know how easy or even possible it is to swap out the shower heads. Does anybody in the chat know? I am stumped. As the tree said to the lumberjack, I'm stumped. I got no idea. Steve wants to know, is there a diamond lounge in... No, there's not. There's only a suite area. Let's see here. Next question. Tracy, I'm doing Margaritaville now. Oh, Margaret, I thought it was... I thought you were doing the cruise line, Margaritaville at sea. I'm doing Margaritaville Nassau. Any advice? Try not to eat too much or drink too much there because it's very expensive. But enjoy the facilities for sure. Jason Licker. Jason, thank you again for the super chat. Good sir, do you know of any hotel recommendations in Los Angeles? It kind of depends on where in LA you want to stay. There's a lot. I mean, you can stay near the port, downtown, near Anaheim, near the airport. I'm trying to think of. I don't even know where we're staying. We're going there in June, and I forgot which hotel we're staying at. It's near San Pedro, which is where the cruise port goes out of. In situations like that, Jason, you know what I do? One night you want somewhere clean, safe, someone on the way. I would just go to Priceline Express Deals, and I would pick 4-star or higher, and I would just pick the region you want to stay in. Whether you want to stay near Disney, you want to stay near the airport, over by San Pedro, 4 stars or higher, you're going to get a pretty good deal, and that's what I would do for one night. Pretty much the way to go there. My wishing flower. I've never done a cruise to Canada, but I'm doing one in October. It's a Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise on Serenade of the Seas this year. So ask me again in October. William Ryman again with an epic super chat. William, thank you so much for your generosity, my dude. You are amazing. I'm taking a pork and apple before my cruise at the Hampton Inn. How close is that to the actual port? A couple minutes. It's pretty close by. I mean, it's not walkable, but it's certainly drivable. I don't know, it's drivable, but it's not a hike by any means. Can I go drop my luggage off at the Porters and then go back to the hotel, pick up my family, and park in the garage? Yes, you can. Absolutely. I would argue this, William. This is what you should do instead. Don't do that. What we should do is take everybody, family, luggage, put them in the car. Drive over there. Go drop off your luggage and your family. I do this all the time. The family gets out of the car. Say, wait here. I'll be right back. Then you go park the car empty, and then you go meet your family. There's places to sit in the shade for your family while they wait for you. I think going back to the hotel would just be unnecessary. Same difference. Unless, of course, you were going to drop off the luggage extremely early or something like that, but I don't think that's really the case. Tracy G, first-time cruiser. We're traveling with our boys, 14 and 10. Am I able to put a spending limit there on the street pass? Yes. Once you get on board the ship, go to guest services, and you can establish that once on board the ship. Kim Oakland, thank you for the super chat. How was your visit this morning? Awesome. More on that tomorrow, Kim, but awesome. Jonas, first-time cruiser. How do they let Sky Class guests aboard? There'll be a separate line. I'm not sure which terminal you're in, which city, but there's usually a suite line and look for the suite line. That's what you want to do right Jeff Ledick. Jeff, thanks for the super chat. On Mariner, this is be the dining package. Will it be able to book Izumi from, say, Chopped, or will it be better off going to Izumi and book them all from there? Actually, you could book, I don't know if Chops can do it, but I can tell you with 100% certainty, you can book Izumi on Mariner of the Seas from the Promenade. When I walked on the ship, Jeff, make a right on the Royal Promenade, right before Bamboo Room, there was a stand with a crew member there who was taking reservations, and I was able to book Izumi Hibachi there. So, um, just do that. It's a lot easier and convenient. Um, let's see. Next question. Darren wants to know around what time will the summer 26 Caribbean itineraries open up? Royal Caribbean puts out their new itineraries in either November or December, and then again in the spring around February, March timeline. So somewhere in there, it kind of depends. But historically speaking, that's kind of where it goes right there. Loretta, you are very welcome. Let's see here. Phyllis and Crystal want to know. Costa Maya is one of the ports I'll be visiting. I currently don't have any plans, but want to wing it off the ship. Is that a good idea, or should I book an excursion? I think book an excursion is yeah, definitely. There's a lot of, I think it's just a little overwhelming if you try and not to do it that way. Um, my two favorite places if you're looking for a great beach day, Maya Chan or Blue Reef, Jamie's at the Blue Reef Hotel. I've done reviews of both at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. They are fantastic. Ed Vira again with another super chat. Thank you so much, Ed. On Oasis in early October, which is hurricane season. If the itinerary changes from Nassau to Key, what would you say might be an alternative? You're on a 7. It depends on where the storm is. It's just so hard to say, you know. If you're going eastern, you can go western, southern, north, rearrange. Sometimes they reverse the itinerary. You'll go to your last port first and your first port last. Again, another one of these. It seems like an easy question, but there's not necessarily a pattern to it. It really depends on where the storm is, where your ship is, timing, lots of things. Let's see. Next question. Lisa wants to know, do they use cash or the CPAS in the casino? Cash. Jeff, thank you for the super chat. With your pending Pinnacle achievement, you may have to turn in your stay up late card. Again there, buddy. Let me tell you something. It's not even plus. I'm starting to feel that. James wants to know, is booking on board a next cruise worth it as far as the discounted cruise? So it's a good question. And actually, bothering me. There's actually no discount. Yeah, the price is the same, James, whether you book it today at home or on next cruise. The difference is you'll get extra onboard credit and reduced deposit. Now, is that worth it, Matt? Okay. I would say it's worth it, James, if you're on the ship, you're already on the cruise, and you think, boy, this is great. Let's book another cruise. Then yes, because it's free money, it's free onboard credit. But if you're sitting at home right now and you want to book a cruise, don't wait. Book it now. And the reason why I say that is the price can go up between now and when you go on board your cruise. That would negate the benefits of that extra onboard credit, if that makes sense. Pick and ship. Thank you for the super chat. I'm on Allure right now and they have craps. Yeah. And I appreciate that. Thank you. I know that there was the question earlier in the chat about that, but thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Sam, thank you for the kind words, by the way. Where's the best place to watch sports without a Playmakers on Harmony? On your phone, Sam. Get the internet package and stream it on your device. That's the next best option, quite frankly. Let's see. Next question. Oh, so Adam says, by the way, going back to the shower head question, you take the shower head off all the time? Really? You need do you travel with a wrench? That's my only question, but okay, cool. Yeah, Akita Vegas says the water pressure isn't usually going to melt your skin off, but best I have for that question. Yeah, I don't know. I've always thought the water pressure is very strong on rail, and some ships, like the older ones, like the Radiance class, it's like a massage in some cases. But it's just like mattresses and so many other things. One person says, "Oh, this is too hard," and another person's like, "It's not hard enough," right? Here's the hotel recommendation: DoubleTree San Pedro. Is this where we're staying, Teresa? Jim, on the Anthem of the Seas, what power type adapter do we need to buy? You don't need to buy one, but if you'd like to buy one, you could get one that has plugs into the wall and it has just USB outlets, no power outlets. Probably the safest route. Another vote for the DoubleTree in San Pedro. There you go. Awesome. Zach, no, you don't have to go to formal night. The only place formal night applies to is the main dining room. So if you don't go to the main dining room, you don't have to. It doesn't apply to you. It doesn't matter. If you how you dress elsewhere on the ship. And let me be perfectly honest with you, they don't even care that much about the dress code. They don't enforce it. So, Mr. Rich Triplet, aka, by the way, I got to give credit to somebody because Rich is asking me about the October group cruise and Serenade of the Seas. When I think of Radiance class, I think of Rich Triplet. I mean, this guy loves the Radiance class ships. It is Serenade of the Seas out of Baston, going up to Canada and New England, 7 nights. It's a really good itinerary, Rich. That's why I picked it. October 22nd, and it's going to, where are we going? Sorry, I'm looking it up right now, Rich, for you. Portland, Bahaba, Sydney, Canada, and Halifax, Nova Scotia. So I felt like this was a really good itinerary, not like one of these 5-nighters and one stop in Canada. October 22nd is our other Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise for this year. But yeah, like I said, I mean, honestly, I'm not even. No, Rich loves the Radiance class, and the man knows a lot about it. Loves his aft balconies on the Radiance class. So yeah. Scott, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I just did online check-in for my first cruise. It was a breeze. Thanks to all your info and tips. Awesome. That is so great. I love hearing that because you guys all know the goal of RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com is to help everybody have a better Royal Caribbean cruise. And, I'm so glad to hear it. Diamond Dave, hey, saw a cabin door decorated saying they learned everything about cruising. Oh, that's awesome. Dave, that magnet is from somebody who, you're on, you know what it is? It's Don and Judy. I'm pretty sure are on that cruise. So, Dave, you can knock on that door during normal hours. They are like really fun people. They're probably in vintages every night. Don is retired Coast Guard. Two of the nicest people in the world. Really fun to talk to. Like they can put up a Tony Diaz. That's how nice they are. So yeah. If who I'm thinking of, somebody else, I don't know. But yeah, love that magnet. We give that magnet out on Royal Caribbean Blog Group Cruises. Dave Brewster, I missed your super chat. Wait a minute. Did I? I did, Dave. Dave Brewster, you say super chat. You missed my super chat. I don't see you in my list. I apologize, but I don't see it. So I'm sorry about that. Fanfic rocks. Thank you, my friend. Good day. Thank you for the reminder, of course. But on a serious note, could you please do a companion video for the Disney food blog video you helped out on? I'll have to think about that one. The companion one. So yes, I appreciate it. First of all, thank you for the suggestions. Thank you for the super chat for my manners. We've done videos. You know, the thing about talking, maybe she got, I don't know if AJ got the same kind of flack I did. Whenever I talk about Disney Cruise Line, man, those people really take the fact they're getting hosed financially to heart. They're like, oh, Matt, you're just a hater, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. But I think it's a good idea. Don't forget, by the way, Fanfic rocks. On that note, we have done similar videos that you might find more interesting on comparing cruise lines over on our sister channel, Cruise Blog, which is here on YouTube as well. So check that out. Cruise.blog for the website and has all the links and everything. Dominator, thank you again for the super chat. On embarkation day, which restaurants are open? Not sweet. I don't know what ship you're on. So here's the answer to your question. It depends on the ship you're on. So what you want to do, Dominator, is go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Click on the main menu. In the main menu, there's a link that says Cruise Compass. Click on that. Find the ship you're sailing on. That will be representative of what you can expect on your sail. Does that make sense? Because it depends on the ship. But yeah, so if you're on Allure of the Seas, you're going on Allure, go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Click Cruise Compass in the main menu. Find an Allure Cruise Compass, especially the most recent one, and that'll give you an idea of what to expect. Thank you for your generosity. JC wants to know, hey Matt, how bad are the Anthem propulsion issues? From what I've not been on, so let me be clear, and I'm going on there. JC, I'm going on Anthem of the Seas in 3 weeks, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is on this one. I'm not worried about it. These things happen, but remember, because there's a propulsion issue with one engine doesn't mean it's all the engines. So I think you'll be okay. Should you be worried as far as February 24? I don't worry about anything in February 24. So no, it's too early to be worried about anything at that far out. Put it that way. Certainly not worried. Something to keep an eye on, but until it's a problem, I wouldn't worry about it. And right now, it's not a problem in my opinion. Cyber Punk, thank you for the super chat. If my table's on American Icon, can I also eat at Silk or the Grand when feeling fancy? No, that's not how the dining room works. I know it seems like that should be. That was actually the concept way back when with the old dynamic dining concept. But no, you can't. But don't worry, it's the same exact menu. Yeah, the motif is a little bit different. I get that, but no, you can't, unfortunately. So, Edvira, this is like your 8th or 20th super chat. Thank you so much for your generosity. What time of day does the online check-in start? Midnight, where the ship is located. So midnight, where the ship is located. Nancy says, how does how's the Royal Caribbean Celebrity Loyalty Match work? Just call celebrity, let them know your crown and anchor status stuff, and they can match your status. They'll tell you, okay, in Captain's Club, this is whatever status is equivalent to that, and they will do it for you. So you just have to call in and check it out. Oh, fanfic. Okay, so have AJ come on there? Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate you. Diamond Dave, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, I have a question. On some ships, I think you said you can stream Netflix or other video apps from the phone to the cabin. Can you explain how to do that? Yes, it's only on like the newer ships, Dave. Wonder, Odyssey for sure. 2 ships that have it. I don't remember if Symphony has it. But essentially, Dave, there when you go to the TV, you turn it on, you'll see options. It'll say like, watch TV, room service, pay-per-view, and then there's stream. And you go to that option, and on the screen, there will be instructions on how to connect your phone. William says, hey, Matt, can you do a video if you haven't already on tips about debarkation video? Yes, I know we have an article about it for sure, William. I'm also fairly certain we've done one on disembarkation day. Pretty sure. I know there's an article for sure. I didn't call it disembarkation. Maybe I called it something else, which is why I can't find it. If we haven't, maybe we should do a video on it. I have one. Oh no, we did a video on what you should do on the last day of your cruise, but not actually disembarkation. So yes, we will do that one. That's a great idea. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Jose, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you for the kind generosity. Can you use Royal Caribbean Wi-Fi to make Wi-Fi calling? Yes, if you, of course, buy an internet package. But yes, do it all the time. Ledgic, congratulations, man. That is awesome. You're going to have a great time on Harmony of the Seas. And I think our last question of the day. Oh, actually, we have another question after this one. Daniel M, thank you for the super chat. Is there a good cruise destination you would recommend for a first-time cruiser? 7-night cruise to anywhere. It doesn't matter where in the Caribbean, Eastern, Western, doesn't matter. I'm assuming you're an American, Daniel. Like if you live in Europe, this is a different question. But 7-night Eastern or Western Caribbean cruise on an Oasis or Quantum class ship would be a great option for a first timer. Joseph says, is the group cruise on October fully booked? No. I don't think it is unless Jen Green from MEI Travel is going to tell me otherwise, but I don't believe it is sold out. But it's October 22nd, Serenade of the Seas. Remember, Serenade. Athabaston. Cool. And last question of the day is from Lori. If you call with Wi-Fi, can you make the call in the middle of the ocean, or do you have to be in port? No, you can make it in the middle of the ocean. Wi-Fi call. You can do this. You can test this at home, by the way. Just turn your phone in airplane mode, connect to your home Wi-Fi, make a call. It's actually really easy to do to test it out. But yeah, it works as long as the internet is functional. Then you can do the call from anywhere, which is really cool. We have a last-minute super chat coming in, hot off the presses. Tempo Kid, thank you for the super chat. My first back-to-back is on Independence of the Season, July, same room. What's the protocol from going from one booking to the other? You'll get a letter in your room, Tempo Kid, towards the end of sailing number 1 with what to do and where to go at the end of the cruise. Basically, they'll tell you, report to this place, almost always the main dining room. You'll meet other people there who are doing the same thing. And then they'll escort you off the ship, bring you back on board, and you'll have a little pass, a little piece of paper that says repeat cruiser or something like that. And you can go back to your cabin, even though technically the cabins are closed. You're allowed to go back to your room. So not to worry about that one. And having the same room is definitely the way to go there. So thank you all so much. I have run out of time, unfortunately, for this evening. But we'll be back again next week. right here on YouTube. Probably not wearing a jacket and a collared shirt, but we'll be back answering more of your cruise questions. Thank you, Jen. It is not sold out, by the way. The Serenade of the Seas cruise is not sold out. So give Jen Green or Fox in the chat a call. And I apologize if like Jennifer Kellum is here or Kathy Geiger or any of the other wonderful MEI travel agents. It's hard keeping track of it all. Anyway, let them help you out booking the cruise there. We're back in next Monday. Before we go, I want to say thank you to all of our super chatters today. Thank you to, we have a lot of you guys. Edvira, thank you. Lauren G, thank you. Susan Grabby, thank you. Mary Strawn, thank you. Andrew Osborne, thank you. The person who I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you very much. General Havoc, thank you. Ann Whipple, thank you. Jason Anchiles, thank you. Jessica Devoto, thank you. Lance, thank you. Dana Lord, thank you. Susan Westfall, thank you. Vinny, thank you. Tukes Vegas, thank you. Betty Eakin, thank you. David O, thank you. Edvira, thank you again. Riva, thank you. Alice Mercer, thank you. Snack 830, thank you. Michael Todd, thank you. Josh Perry, thank you. Matt Bailey, thank you. William Ryman, thank you many, many, many times. Brian Smith, thank you. R. Gravy, thank you. Teresa McShane, thank you. Lauren, thank you. Aaron Ross, thank you. Tom Anderson, thank you. R. Gravy, thank you. Ainsley, thank you. David Brewster, thank you. Vincente, thank you. Jay Gold, thank you. Even Tony Diaz, thank you. Russ Crawford, thank you. Gene, thank you. Marcel, thank you. Loretta, thank you. Danny DiMatteo, thank you. Jose, thank you. Oren, thank you. Teresa, thank you again. Oren, thank you again. Ronnie Biggers, thank you. Dominator, thank you. Aaron Ross, thank you. The dog goes, thank you. Jason Lickert, thank you. William Ryman, thank you. Kim Oakland, thank you. Jeff Leddick, thank you. Ed, thank you again. Jeff Hansen, thank you. Pick and Chip, thank you. Scott Holloway, thank you. Fanfic Rocks, thank you. Dominator, thank you again. Cybird Punk, thank you. Ed Vira, thank you again. Jose Velez, thank you. Diamond Dave, thank you. Daniel M, thank you. And Kempo Kid, thank you all so much. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Very generous. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for being a part of the chat. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you all. Until our next live broadcast, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.